And we're live here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive. I'm really excited. I have Anita with me today, and she's all over the world and telling us some cool things, helping people out. So Anita, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, dear.
And yeah, why don't we start off? Just share a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay, well, as Derek said, my name's Anita, and I'm a New Yorker, but transplanted to Arizona, and then I lived in LA for a while, and now I live in northern Italy. I've lived here for 20 years. I'm an expat, um, and I my work is that I reach out to other expat ladies predominantly, but anybody who's an expat and is just struggling with what their new life looks like. When I moved here, we were still in the MySpace days, if you remember that. Right. So we didn't have all this connectivity and things like that. And even when we got those abilities, it was still a challenge because you still very much feel like you're 6,000 miles away from your people. So I help people kind of create their new life in a new place, new language, whatever it may be. There are different challenges that I never anticipated having that I ended up having and having to navigate through. And I'm just here to help other people do the same thing.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
So you were you decided to move to Italy. Was that a choice? Was that part like was did that start this whole journey
Yeah,
or
that started the whole journey. So my husband and I had a business opportunity. We were living in Arizona and we're looking for something new and something different. And so we found out about this opportunity, interestingly enough, on Valentine's Day. While we were going, we found out about it. We were at dinner having Italian.
Hmm.
And then, said, let's look into this. And about a year later, after doing the things with the visas and all the logistical things that we had to do, we, grabbed the brass ring and came to Italy and moved from Phoenix, Arizona, a metropolitan of about 6 million people now, to a village of 800. It was a culture shock. Beautiful country, but wow, what a culture shock. Um, and said, okay, here's the brass ring. Let's do the things. Um, and at first, it was working out really well. It was working out really well. He was successful. I was going into a new career, a new life, and it was wonderful, until it wasn't. And that's when things started to change. That's when relationship dynamics became evident to me and trying to navigate what it's like, not only learning the language, but trying to adjust, communicate, and understand in that language. So it wasn't just books. It was the whole thing that I speak, I spoke English in the United States. We didn't really have to learn anything else, right?
Yeah.
Um, So that brought us here, and that was 20 years ago. And it's been a journey, a wonderful journey. I've had travels I couldn't have even imagined. I have probably 30,000 photos of places I've been and people I've met and food I've eaten and wine. Oh, the wine. You know, um, and having said that, it was still a journey at times. It was really a journey at times. So here we are.
I'm sure. Are you willing to share some of the challenges? I mean, I'm sure between like not knowing the language and being so far away from home and family and friends, like what
Well,
were
yeah,
some.
there were a lot of challenges. I think the biggest one for me was that like I said, we went to this small village of 800 people. So not only was that isolating, because I'm a city girl, so not only was that isolating to start with, but on top of that, it was, I don't know if this will make sense to you, but at some point I felt like I had given my power away.
Mm.
because I didn't have I didn't have the things around me that I used to be in control of. I honestly, I didn't have a car for a year and a half. And a car for many of us is a part of our identity,
Yeah.
you know? So I didn't have a car. I was in this tiny little village, and it turned out that in this village, they didn't even speak Italian readily. They spoke a dialect of Italian. So I was so excited learning this language, and I would go to speak to someone and they would speak back to me. I'd be, I have no idea what you just said. Because they would be speaking to me in their own sort of way of expression.
I see.
But I think giving the power away was the biggest one, and feeling it was just so strange to not have a credit card. There's a sense, it's hard to explain, but there's this sense that you have of self when you have that little card in your wallet and you know it's yours, and it gives you a sense of control. So
Mm.
that was the biggest thing that was gone. Um, and then some of the little things that you wouldn't think of. Going to the post office was, I want to say, an adventure, which makes it sound like it was exciting and fun. It wasn't. It was, how do I mail this letter? The first time I went to the post office, I had to go back 3 times because I kept doing it wrong. How do you not know how to mail a letter? And then being in this village was a completely new way of evaluating my existence. I didn't, go to the nightclub. I didn't go to happy hour with my friends. I wasn't going to the movies. We weren't just hanging out. I had no friends. And my partner had, we came and he had his own office and all of these things. And the office was actually 10 miles away. So here I am. I'm alone, or felt alone. I would say I felt more isolated than alone. I mean, I think we all need to know what alone is like and understand that that's a choice. Isolation is different, but isolated, no car, no friends. It was an adjustment on so many levels. That was difficult. I would say also learning to appreciate what is around you.
Mm.
This village was in the middle of the Dolomites. It was incredibly gorgeous, but I had to learn how to garden, how to find other things that filled me up that I never had to evaluate before. Arizona, where I came from, most of my life was a desert. We don't do flowers there.
Yeah.
We do cactus.
Right.
So it was wonderful in that I learned all of these things. It wasn't wonderful in that I felt I had to learn them, that I had to learn them,
Yeah.
not at my own pace. It was, I've got to do this or I'm going to go bananas. Um, so that was a big one. And redefining what my identity was. All of a sudden, I shouldn't say all of a sudden, it came gradually. I don't think I realized at first that I had given my power away. I couldn't articulate that that is what had happened at that time because I had never felt like that before. So it took time for me to put words to what I was feeling.
Mm.
And then once I articulated that, then I could figure out how I could regain it and how to get back into participating in my own life and create a life that was fulfilling and dynamic from this little village of 800 people when we were still in the MySpace era.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was still, call your mom. You know,
Yeah.
we were barely getting out of, I want to say this is how I remember it, but I want to say we were barely getting out of landlines at that point. It was only 20 years ago, But then again, considering all of the innovations and all the technology we've created in such a seemingly short time, it seems like yesterday and forever.
Yeah, you didn't even have a smartphone.
Exactly.
They've
You
been really
know,
good.
I had my backyard and learning how to grow a garden and grow flowers and learn the seasons of flowers in vegetables like, oh, this is what a zucchini plant looks like. Well, that's kind of cool. you know
Yeah,
um and like I said, being without the car, but the identity, the power, um and it was wonderful in that it made me get to know myself on
yeah,
a completely different level. At first, I didn't enjoy it.
yeah,
Honestly, it was hard. Luckily, I didn't have to look at things back in my life and regret anything or why did I do this or, I shouldn't have said that. I didn't have any of that, but it was taking stock of what mattered to me and what was important and who was important. Um, and learning how to participate in those things from a distance or how to create them in this new life that I had chosen.
right.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. One of the things I was thinking about as you were talking is, yeah, I had worked overseas at a time and I didn't have a car, and I felt like one of my freedoms was taken away because,
Definitely.
I could walk to places, but I was limited to the places I could walk to, and I could take a bus, but then I was limited to the times of the bus. It wasn't my time, it was somebody else's time.
Right. That's a really good point because if I think about it, the bus in this little village came and went twice a day. So I could go into town because, like I said, the town where the office was and where the closest city is was 10 miles away.
Yeah.
So I could take the bus at 7 in the morning, and I think, I want to say 2 or 3 in the afternoon was when it came back. So if I went in, it would be I had to be there for however many hours,
Yeah.
and then come back. But you're right, it was a sense of freedom that I definitely lost, or
Yeah.
it felt that way at the time.
Yeah. So now you figured it all out and you have more freedom, you have more power. What how are
Exactly.
you, and now you're helping other people do that, right?
Yeah, I'm trying. They're really coming to me and saying, "Oh, yeah, I experienced that too." And what did you do with this? And I think one of the things was when we moved here, we came here together. We made the decision to come here together. And then my husband was the one who made the decision to stay. And again, at the time, I wouldn't have articulated it that way, but now I understand that I thought I had given my power away, but I had made a very specific, I guess, decision by not deciding or by not deciding to speak up, um, by not saying, oh gosh, you know what? That's not the life decision. That's not the direction I want to go in my life. Let's have a conversation about this and really think about what our next move is and what do our new goals look like. I didn't take that step at the time. Um, So that was not the best idea. But what I did do was figure that out and say, okay, so one of the things I'm not going to do again is to let someone else, whoever that may be, a partner, a parent, make a life decision for me. It made me realize I have to participate in my own life and make the choices that are going to be fulfilling and intentional for me. And if there's someone else involved or another family, or if there's work involved, what have you, it needs to be a conversation.
Yeah.
And we need to go along that path together so that if whatever decisions and whatever things come up, we know the direction that we're going. We have that kind of North Star to take us there, which opens up the stream for the conversation.
I see.
Yeah. Um, I would say I also, so that was a big one, was saying, okay, it's up to, it's up to me. Um, and then it was a really interesting dynamic because my entire life I had been a real go-getter and a real goal setter and reached my goals. And I found myself falling into this position of, I would say it was almost self-sacrificial of, oh wow, okay, so we had this opportunity and this opportunity is happening for my partner. It's not happening for me. I can maybe figure it out, get over my things and mm, but it didn't work out that way.
Mm.
Um, so I think discovering that I had not given my power away and how to regain it and create an identity here while still reclaiming the identity that I had always had. Because being in this small village, they didn't understand, comprehend, or care to understand what this, vibrant, energetic American woman wanted or needed or was trying to find. They were just going about their everyday lives. So finding the parts of myself that were powerful and applying those in this new life
Mm.
was crucial because I felt I had lost them all. So taking the time, I don't know that being still necessarily was how I would have put it. I think I needed to reconnect to a lot of things from that life I had left, which meant, you know, uh, some of it was actually quite loud because compared to the place I lived, I came from a very loud place. So
Right.
I wanted to and we didn't have streaming services. So connecting to my people via Zoom or even connecting to familiar TV series that those sorts of familiar things didn't happen. So I had to start with books and put it, this is going to sound so old-fashioned in a way, put on my Ramones CD and just crank it up.
Yeah.
Get myself back to the familiar things to where I was feeling powerful and take that and funnel it into what this new life looked like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of the people that you help and how you've helped them and kind of what, their outcomes after working with you.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of the ladies that get in touch with me, like I said, it's mostly ladies, are already expats here. I would say most of them have been here for probably 5 years or more. I have talked to people who have just gotten here, and it's wonderful to talk to those that are recent transplants, if you will, because they're still in touch with their power. So I help them maintain that and funnel it into their new life. And they don't have to go through losing it or feeling as if who am I? I have no sense of self-mastery or control. What's going on? It's a lot harder to get it back once you feel like you've lost it. So ladies reach out to me that have been here from Italy, from Spain, you know, someone I just started speaking with is it has gone to the Middle East. And I think I'm hearing from more people now because post lockdown, and with all the craziness and the political chaos that's going on, there's a lot of moving. There's a lot of people that, are looking at where they want to retire or where they want to start something new because now this is a perfect example. We can do things online. So they want to, kind of go to a calmer existence. but they don't know that when they get here, it's completely different. So they reach out to me and we discuss identity and what it looks like for them because it's different for everyone. Some people, their identity resides in family, having family around them. Others feel like their identity is really shows itself when they get to walk along a beach at sunset. Um, and we discuss that. We discuss self-mastery. I think it's very important, especially if you move for a partner or not, I should say, not for career reasons or not for to just sort of travel the world and go from place to place. If you are settling in a new place and you're going to be an expat, it's a completely different experience,
Yeah.
you know? Um, and I think that those are the people that reach out to me because now their identity is how do I do self-mastery? What does that look like? What does it look like for me not to have a bank account? And that may seem something like logistical, sort of like, well, I make this money and I put it in the bank and so I'll open a bank account here, but it's almost a sense of self. It's like you had said a little bit ago about that you didn't have a car for a
Mm.
while and you felt that you had lost a freedom. So we discuss freedom and what that looks like to them. There's also confidence that I help them get back and help them realize who they are without the world that they lived in, I should say. I never realized before how much we associate our identity and our confidence with our outside world, with the decor in our house, with the places we go, what resonates with us, where we visit, the energy that we get from other people. And we don't look inside of ourselves, which is really where our identity comes from. We just get so accustomed to seeing it outside of ourselves. So I help them look inwardly and say, oh, yes, this is all right here. I just had to reconnect to it or keep it in the first place um, in order to feel whole and feel that like this new place really can be the home I need it to be for me.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's very fulfilling, and I love that I help these people in a way that they can apply it to their lives immediately,
Yeah.
and they can immediately. I've had folks reach out to me 2 days after we have a conversation and say, "Oh, I just went and opened my new bank account. I feel whole. I have this little card, or I have something that says, yes, I belong here."
Yeah.
And that's key is feeling like you belong and not that you have to fit in. I think that's a huge point in living somewhere different is when you're somewhere different and you feel like you're the fish out of water, you have a tendency to want to fit in. So you're, oh, okay, well, they do this way here. And I'm used to having dinner at 6, but they have dinner at 9. And, they go on walks every day. And the last time I took a walk was when I was 12. And, you know, it's important to create it for yourself so that you belong where you are and don't fit in, because fitting in means that you essentially change something about yourself to fit into the new place.
Yeah. Never thought of it like that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that way.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been great. So how do people find you if they want to find you and get your help?
Uh, Well, luckily, everybody can find me pretty much in one place. I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
They can go to my personal profile, which is Anita Fordin-Geise. Or I have a group called the Connective Collective, and they can, find when they go to my page, they can find me there, or they can DM me at Anita Fordin-Giese. Just send me a message. Everything that I do is on Facebook. They can find all of tips and ideas and a growing list of resources within the group. I'm creating that as more people join the group. I'm finding out really what they need and what I can bring to them. And I'm all on Facebook. Super easy.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have you put your link here in the comments so people can find you and connect
Thank
with
you.
you. And especially if you're a woman expat and you want to find out more information, definitely connect with Anita.
That's
Anita,
right.
thank you so much for doing this. Any final words or anything that you didn't get to that you want to share?
Um, I would say yes, yes. I would say it's really important for anyone, man or woman, doesn't matter, is that to especially if you've been here for a while and you're struggling with the self-connection and you're not quite sure where you are and you're a little bit lost and struggling. It's really important to remember to stop pleading for the life you fell into and start leading the life you intend to. It's all about where you take it.
Love that. Love that. Thank you so much, Anita. Thanks
Thanks.
everybody for watching and listening. Again, definitely connect with Anita. She's going to put her links here. And if you resonate with her, you definitely need to connect. And if you like what we're doing here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, comment interview and we'll spotlight you. We'll let you share your gifts, your story, or if you need support because you're struggling, we'll give you that support too. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you at the next one.